Hello everyone. In this session we are going to discuss about chromosomes. So this portion is from paper 5, that is cell biology and biotechnology, which comes under the unit 1, that is cell biology. So in this topic, here in this subunit we are going to study about morphology of chromosomes, structure, centromeres, telomere, what do you mean by heterochromatin and euchromatin, types of chromosomes, and what do you mean by chromosome number and genome. And later we will be discussing about ultrastructure of chromosomes, which come under folded fiber model, nucleosome model, giant chromosomes, polytene chromosomes, Lamb-Rush chromosomes, and supernumerary chromosomes. So here we will be discussing till genome, including the morphology of the chromosomes and types. So first, what do you mean by chromosomes? So chromosomes are the self-reproducing thread-like structures. So usually they are packed within the DNA. So they are mainly located inside the nucleus. So as you can see in the picture, the DNA, once how the DNA is packed inside the chromosomes. And the chroma means color, soma means body, because they can be easily stained with dyes. And also these chromosomes, they are also called as heredity vehicles. These chromosomes were first observed by Hofmeister in 1848. He observed the chromosomes in nuclei of the pollens, that is the mother cell of Trastensita. However, they were named chromosomes by the Waldier. So Waldier named the chromosome in the year 1888. So this is the introduction towards the chromosomes. And usually the number of chromosomes varies from species to species, but the number remain constant within the species. So within the species like human beings, like again the mammals of the primates, there the chromosomal number remains constant. And the lowest number of the chromosome is 2, that occurs in Ascaris. The maximum number of chromosomes is 1700, which occurs in the protozoa. So usually this questions like the lowest number of chromosome and highest number of chromosomes, they have asked in the JAM exams for your master's entry. So this is the chart which tells you about the number of chromosomes in some animals and plants. Maximum like importance you need to give for humans, the monkey, and fruit fly, that is Drosophila. And in plants you need to give about the importance like maize and penicillium in fungi, yeast. So these are the important chromosome numbers you need to remember. So coming to morphology of the chromosome, the size of the chromosome, they range usually from 0.1 microns to 30 microns, and the diameter, it varies from 0.2 microns to 2 microns. So usually the plants are having the larger chromosomes than the animals. So the plant Trillium has the chromosome with the length of 32 microns at the metaphase. So it is the largest chromosome till known, which is found in Trillium plant. The length of the human chromosomes, they varies from 4 microns to 6 microns. So but there are some giant chromosomes like Lamb-Rush chromosomes, and there are again oocytes of the they are mainly present in oocytes of amphibians, which may resembles up to, or which measures about 800 microns. And this is the structure of the chromosome. It is a very important type of structure where you need to know what are the structures or what are the parts that comes under. So during mitosis, the chromosome splits longitudinally into two chromatids. The two chromatids are attached to the centromere. So what do you mean by centromere? So centromere is the portion where the arms are attached to the arms are attached to the chromosomes, so which makes the chromosome. The typical somatic chromosomes, it has the elongated cylindrical body with two arms. So usually the chromosome, if you see the structure, they are elongated arms, like they are slender and they are pulled off. So usually they consist of chromonema, or the again centromere. Usually you can have the constrictions like primary constrictions, secondary constrictions, and satellite bodies and telomere. So these are the structures which consist or which are completely present in the chromosomes. So remember, it consists of chromonema, chromomeres, centromere or primary constriction, secondary constriction, satellite body, and telomere. So usually the according to the your examination point of view, they can ask for 5 marks. With a neat label diagram, explain the structure of chromosomes. So here the chromosome contain two identical spirally coiled filaments. So those are called as chromonemata. So usually these chromonemata, the nature and the degree of coiling of the chromonemata is variable in meiotic and mitotic chromosomes. So usually they coil up and they form gyri like structures. We call them as gyres. So in meiotic chromosomes, two distinct coils are observed. So one is major coil and one more is minor coil. So major coil will be having or the turnings will be up to 10 to 30 gyres, but whereas in minor they will be having only lesser number, less than 3 or 4. So that type of gyres will be present in the minor coils. So the coil may be either paranemic or the plectonemic. So what do you mean by paranemic coiling and plectonemic coiling? So this can be asked for 2 marks. So the coiling may be paranemic, which means the coiling can be easily separated. Means where you can see in the picture these chromosomes which are showing paranemic coil, means which are placed over one another. But whereas in plectonemic, what happens? They are twisted. So once they are twisted, the coiling cannot be easily separated. So these are the two different types of coiling in the chromosomes. One is paranemic and one more is plectonemic. Next, the nucleosome model. So even this can be asked for 5 marks question. So with a neat label diagram, explain nucleosome model of DNA. So here during the cell division, the chromonemata becomes condensed and forms the chromatids. So chromatids are nothing but the condensed form of the chromosomes. So once they are condensed, what happens? The chromonemata and chromatids are the two names of the same structure. So usually they are nothing but the same structure. The DNA wrap around the histones and forms bead-like structure called as nucleosome. So you need to write the definition. What do you mean by nucleosome? So the DNA, what happens? It wraps around the histones. Histones are nothing but the proteins. So then they form bead-like structure. So those are called as nucleosome. So as you can see in the picture, the nucleosome, how from the chromosome it has entered into the nucleosome models, like there are histones which are wrapped upon one another, or there are different types of histones. We'll see in detail. So in nucleosome, it is a complex of the DNA and the histones. It appears on the string of the beads and on the DNA strand. And the term nucleosome was coined by Audet in a year 1975. And these nucleosome consist of core particles and the DNA. The core particles are nothing but the proteins, what we are calling them as histones. So these core particles consist of 8 molecules of histones. So 8 molecules means there are H1, H2A, H2B, H3, H4. So usually they are present. into 2. So H1 histone is outside the nucleosome model or outside the core complex, and core complex, or we call it as octamer, 8 molecules, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. That makes the core or you can tell the octamer. And the surface of the particle is surrounded by the flat superhelical strand of the DNA, which makes around 1.75 turns. So below you can see how when you observe under the microscope how nucleosome models or the nucleosome are arranged in the DNA. They looks like the beads on the string. So that is how the nucleosome model looks like. So in this remember about the histones, what type of histones and what makes the octamer. And the adjacent nucleosomes are connected by the linker DNA. So linker DNA is nothing but the DNA which links with the histones, and the single histone molecules binds to the linker DNA. So during interphase, so what happens? The certain region of the chromatin stains darker by usually stains, the Filgin stain. So the chromatids or the chromatin which stains darker, they are called as heterochromatin, and the chromatin which stains lighter when compared to the heterochromatin, they are called as euchromatin. So this phenomenon is called as differential staining or heteropyconesis. So usually this can be asked for 2 marks. What do you mean by differential staining? Or enumerate the difference between heterochromatin and euchromatin. So remember, the heterochromatin, the chromatin stains darker, but whereas euchromatin, when compared to heterochromatin, they stain lighter. And also the heterochromatin is in close contact with the nucleolus. During mitosis, heterochromatin regions they stain strong, so that is called as positive heteropyconesis, and more weakly stained, they are called as negative heteropyconesis. So due to the staining, they are differentiated on the what type of positive and negative. So this is the difference between heterochromatin and euchromatin. So usually heterochromatin, they are much condensed, that is why they can stain darker, and usually they are silenced gene by methylated, and there are genes which are very poor, like they are high in the AT contents, means the adenosine and thymidine. So adenine and thymine, they are more in number and they stain darker, wherein compared to the euchromatin, they are less condensed. So due to this less condensity, they stain very less. Gene expression will be more, and genes are rich with the usually the GC content, that is guanine and cytosine, and they stain lighter. So there are light staining narrow region in the chromosomes which are called as centromere, or also called as kinetochore. So as I was telling, the centromere is the region where the arms are attached. So this narrow region is in the form of constriction. So this centromere region where the constrictions are seen, so they are called as, or it is also called as, primary constriction. The part of the chromosome which lie on either side of the chromosomes, they are called as arms. So these arms are attached to the centromere. The short arm is called as P arm, and the long arm it is called as Q arm. As you can see in the picture, the centromere, it is also called as kinetochore, or it is also called as primary constriction. And these arms are attached to the centromere. The shorter arm is called as P and the larger arm is called as Q. But as in the second diagram where you can see 4 different arms, those chromatids, they are called as sister chromatids because they come from the same cells. So the shape of the chromosome is determined by the location of the centromere. So usually the centromere have 5 zones, namely the inner zone, 2 middle zone and 2 outer zone. So the inner zone is clearly containing the granules are called as kinosomes. So the granules which are present inside the inner zone, they are called as kinosomes, and the middle region is formed by 1 or more chromosomes. So when you see the structure of the metaphase chromosome, so this diagram you need to draw for explaining the structure of the metaphase chromosome. As you can see, the primary constriction near to the centromere region, and there are two arms which are equal in size, and there is a telomere, satellite bodies, secondary constriction, or the NOR, which is called as nuclear organization, and there are some chromatin fibers which are associated with the chromosomes. The centromere has the three important functions. So those are spindle fibers are attached to the centromere. So spindle fibers are nothing but which helps in the cell division. So it helps in the formation of spindle fibers, and it gives shape to the chromosomes. So this can be asked for 2 mark. What are the functions of the centromere? So spindle fibers, which helps in the attachment, formation of spindle fibers, and the centromere, it gives shape to the chromosomes. So coming to the additional constriction, that is, we were talking about the secondary constriction. So they are constant in position. Usually the primary constrictions are not constant because of the variable arms, like a shorter arm and the longer arm. But these secondary constrictions are constant in position. The secondary constriction is subterminal in position, and it differs from the primary constriction because by the absence of marked angular deviation. So if the marked angular deviation is present, then it is the secondary constriction. So these constrictions are often associated with the formation of nucleolus or nucleolar organizers. We call it as NOR. So the chromosomes with these structures are known as nucleolar chromosomes. So the small piece, that is satellite, the small piece of the chromosome located beyond the secondary constriction, means above the secondary constriction, we call them as satellite. And they are round, elongated body, and the diameter may be usually the same as the chromosome, and the chromosome with the satellite, we call them as SAT chromosome. Sine acido-thymonucleonic. So usually SAT chromosomes, the satellites are usually single, but they in some cases they may be 2 or more. So they can ask what is the full form of SAT. So SAT chromosomes, usually we call it as sine acido-thymonucleonic. So that is how the SAT chromosome, it is a part of the chromosome, or the which when explaining the ultrastructure you need to write about what do you mean by satellite and SAT chromosome. And the tip of the chromosome is called as telomere. So they can ask what do you mean by telomere, and in the morphology you need to make a note on telomere also. So they determine the polarity of the chromosome, they prevent the joining of the ends, so that is the adjacent chromosome. So these telomeres are having rich in G repeats, that is guanosine. During replication, what happens? The replication of the telomere, which is brought by an enzyme that is called as telomerase enzyme. So during that time, what happens? The repeated division of the chromosomes during the cell division, and which helps in the shortening of the telomere. So now scientists are working on this type of techniques, like the aging of the man is decided by, or it is related to the shortening of the telomere. So if you can make the mutation in the chromosome or shortening of the telomere, the life of the man can be increased by preventing the shortening of the telomere. So if it is short, the age is short. So if it is larger, the age is larger. So that is the function of telomere, telomerase enzyme, the breaking down. And you can see how the telomere looks like in the chromosome. At the tip region, they are called as telomere. So this is how our chromosome, it is enlarged to coiling, supercoiling, and later nucleosome model. We are having the nucleosome model and solenoid model and double helix DNA, which consists of our nitrogenous bases. So this is the structural organization or the diagrammatic representation of double helix DNA, how wrapping takes place in histones, and heterochromatin and euchromatin, how the chromatin fibers are attached, and how the duplication of chromosomes takes place. So in ultrastructure of the when they ask ultrastructure of metaphase chromosome, you need to draw the diagram of this structure which explains the structure of the chromosome, and you need to label the telomere, satellites, constrictions, that is primary and secondary, usually with the centromere and or kinetochore. So this diagram you need to draw for their examinations. So coming to the autosomes and allosomes, what do you mean by autosomes and allosomes? So these are nothing but in vertebrates the chromosomes are grouped under two groups, that is autosomes and allosomes. So autosomes are the somatic chromosomes, means the vegetative characters, and the allosomes are the sex chromosomes. So sex chromosomes, you know, like there are X and Y. So usually there are two types of allosomes, X and Y chromosomes. And the difference between autosomes and allosomes, so autosomes, as I have said, they are vegetative type of chromosomes. These are sex chromosomes. The chromosome number is 2n minus 1. See how to determine the chromosome number. But whereas in chromosome number of allosomes, just 2, it will be the double of that. And the morphology of the is similar to male and female, but whereas in sex chromosomes they differentiate as XX and XY. The number of number differs from species to species, but each diploid organism usually has two allosomes. They do not exhibit sex linkage, but whereas sex linkage exhibits in the sex chromosomes. So these are the difference between autosomes and allosomes. So this can be asked for 2 marks. What is the difference between autosomes and allosomes? And coming to the main one more concept, that is formation of Barr body. The male usually we are having the XY chromosomes, whereas female XX chromosomes, and due to that what happens, only one X chromosome is functional in the interphase. So the cell containing more than one X chromosome, what happens, only one X chromosome becomes function. So during that time there is no dispersed cell division, and clumping happens in the heterochromatin in the cytoplasm. Once the clumping happenings, so that clumping or the agglutination is called as Barr bodies or sex chromatin, which was discovered by Murrah Barr in the year 1940. So this, what do you mean by Barr body, or what do you mean by sex chromatin, can be asked for 2 marks. How it is clumping formation, and thus clumping or the agglutination in the heterochromatin region, they can be separated. So usually this you also have to conduct an experiment how the Barr body looks like in your lab session. So small topic, that is karyotype and ideogram. This will be studying in the genetics in detail. So just I have mentioned the definition. The sequential arrangement of all the chromosome of a cell is called as the karyotype. The diagrammatic representation of the chromosome of an organism is called as ideogram. So usually there is a difference between karyotype and ideogram. First they used to tell both are same. No, the sequential arrangement is karyotype, but the diagrammatic representation is the ideogram. So the chromosomes are formed by nucleic acids and the proteins. So you know about the DNA, RNA and the proteins. The proteins is nothing but the histones. So about 90% of deoxyribonucleoproteins and remaining 10% they form the residual chromosomes. The DNA are mainly formed by 45% of the DNA and 55% of the basic protein, and during that time the residual chromosome is substanced or mainly seen or remaining after the removal of the DNA and the histones. So the residual DNA, RNA and the protein, what happens now, the residual protein is acidic in nature, and due to that removal of DNA and histones do not affect the structural integrity. So they do not cause any change in shape of the chromosome. That is what they are explaining. So if the content of the protein, if it is altering, it do not harm maximum to the structure of the chromosome, but internal genetic variations will be formed. So coming to the last, that is the how what type of ions are present in the chromosomes. So there are different types of ions, maybe they are divalent ions, and related to that, and there are proteins called as tryptophan, and they are also called as chromosome formed in the high tryptophan. The linkage they usually form between DNA and the protein, or protein and the DNA, that is called as salt linkage. And I was talking about the divalent ions. Those are mainly calcium, the magnesium and iron, which are present in the additional linkage to the chromosomes, like in between the DNA and the protein. The last concept, that is the function of the chromosomes. So this question can be asked for 3 or 2 marks. So usually they are controlling our heredity, and they act as the genetic material, and they carry the genes from our parents to offsprings. The chromosomes control the metabolism of the organism, and heterochromatin, which helps in the formation of nucleolus. Chromosomes control the differentiation and the change in number and the structure of the chromosome, which leads to mutation and new species is formed, or the speciation takes place. So that's all about the chromosomes. So here in this session we have studied the morphology, the structure of the chromosomes, and what are the functions of the chromosomes, and what are the parts of the chromosomes. So this is very important session for your cell biology, where many questions can be asked. So that's about today session. Thank you.